All right, hello everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you are having a good start to the week. Let's get started with 521 day one. We are starting this lesson today. You are going to finish it tomorrow. Now, before we get any farther, you do need to have your review preview from Friday. You need a red pen. You also need the handouts. Now, the handouts are 5.2.1 handout A, I believe. Okay, so if you got the packets, you should have in the packets gotten a series of handouts. Right now, all I'm looking for is the one that looks, that has a series 5.2.1A resource page, okay? And it is going to be 2 pages, okay? 2 pages. It just has a series of, well, let me show you what it looks like so that you can see exactly what you need. It is also on our, on this assignment, so you can print it out. It looks like this, okay? So you do need to print these out, these 2 pages, and have them ready to go. Please make sure they're printed on separate pages because we're going to cut these out and we're going to do all this stuff. So cut them out. You can cut them out right now. Please don't fill it out. Just cut them out or have it ready to go as we are starting class today. Okay? All right. So let's get back to what we were doing. And here we go. So the first thing I want to talk about is review preview. So there is your review preview. Please pause the video at this point and check your answers. If you have questions about something or anything on here, do make a note to it, just so make a note for me so I can see it, and you can ask tomorrow in class, okay? All right, I do want you to upload this. Well, you should have already uploaded this homework, so it should be good to go. All right, let's move on to today. So 521, how can I describe a sequence? Generalizing and investigating sequences. Sequences is the new topic. As you notice, we're going into section 2 of chapter 5. Sequences are a little confusing, so this is a new material, new thing that we're going to be dealing with, and you really need to focus carefully as we do this work, okay? Generating and investigating sequences. In the bouncing ball activity from lesson 512 and 513, you use multiple representations like a table, an equation, and a graph to represent a discrete situation involving a bouncing ball, which is your situation. Today we'll learn about a new way to represent a discrete pattern called a sequence. Okay, cool. A discrete pattern, by the way. Did you hear that? Problem 540. Samantha was thinking about George and Lenny and their rabbits, because of course you think of rabbits. When she listed the number of rabbits George and Lenny could have each month, she ended up with an ordered list below called a sequence. So these are just the number of bunnies that they have, 2, 6, 18, 54. That ordered list is called a sequence. She realized that she could represent the situation using a sequence generating machine that would generate the number of rabbits each month by doing something to the previous month's number of rabbits. She tested her generator by putting it in the first term of 2. That's what we started with. Here's the first term. See, that's the definition. And she recorded each output before putting it into the next machine. So you got the output here. It then became the input, which then went in and then became the output and then became the input, so on and so forth. Okay. Below is a diagram she used to explain her ideas to her teammates. Okay. So question A. What does Samantha's sequence generator seem to be doing to each output? So on your paper, please go ahead and write an answer. Pause, write an answer. When you're done, unpause it. And it should, don't you dare just give me a +1. No, give me a sentence, please, explaining what exactly is happening there. Got it? When you're done, unpause it and we'll check. Okay, so what does Samantha, I'm hoping you had something to the extent of Samantha's sequence generator is multiplying the input by 3. Okay? You should have that as a complete sentence. Samantha's sequence generator seems to be multiplying each input by 3. Okay? So letter B, what are the next 2 terms of Samantha's sequence? Show how you got your answer. So please, again, pause and answer question B. All right, so if you took the sequence generator, we ended up with 54. That's the last term in the sequence. And if you multiplied 54 times 3, you would have gotten 162. And then you did 162 times 3, and of course I'm expecting you to show the work here, right? You would have gotten 486, and 486 times 3 would have given you 1,458. Okay, so they're the next 3 terms for your word for problem B. Last but not least, letter C, Samantha decided to use the same sequence generator, but this time she started with the first term of 5. What are the next 4 terms in this sequence, in this new sequence? So it's using the same sequence generator. It's using the same machine and the same process it does, but this time the input, the first input is 5. So the first term is going to be 5. What are the next 4 terms in this sequence? All right, so pause the video, write them in, and then unpause and see if you got it right. Okay, so the next 5 terms in the sequence, well, 4 terms, I'm sorry, 5, and then 5 times 3 would be 15, and 15 times 3 would be 45. Ooh, and I was doing that in my head, and now is where I'm getting to a little bit more complicated. It would be, let me see, 135, and I hope I'm getting this right because I'm doing it in my head. And then I multiply that by 3, I get 390 to 205, no, 405 is it? Now I gotta verify here before I do it here. Okay, times 3, oh, I was right, 405. Oh, and that's all I stopped. Okay, that's where I stopped. So there they are. You took the first term and multiplied it by 3, and then by 3, then by 3, then by 3, and you should have gotten those numbers. Cool, everyone good with that? All right, let's move on to the next problem. Problem 540. Now, I'm sorry, 541. Now, this is a problem that we're going to start in class, or we're going to start in this video, and then you're going to continue it tomorrow in class. However, you need to make sure you hold on to all these steps and stick with me as we do this process. And I'm praying that all of you actually are watching this video because otherwise it's going to be a mess tomorrow. Got it? Here we go. Sequence families. Samantha and her teacher have been busy creating a new sequence generators and the sequences they produce. Below are the sequences Samantha and her teacher created. And again, these are the same sequences that are in your handout that you've got right there. So if you notice, these right here are the same as on the list, and you should have both of these pages. Again, they are in the packet I gave you. If you were in class, I gave you this packet. If you were not in class, then you can print them out from this, this assignment, okay? So there you go, all those sequences. Your task, working together with yourself because you're basically doing this on your own, organize the sequences into families of similar sequences. Your team will need to decide, well, you will need to decide how many families to make, what common features make this sequence as a family, and what characteristics make each family different from the others. Follow the directions below. As you work, use the following questions to help guide your personal mental discussion. How can we describe the pattern? How does it grow? What do they have in common? Okay? So here it is, step number 1. And by the way, what I need you to do right now, if you haven't already, please carefully, don't lose these, but please carefully cut out all of the strips of sequences from your handout. Okay, these strips, just take a pair of scissors and cut along the dashed line and have that cut out so that you can separate them. Got them? All right. So, task number 1. As a team, basically on your own, sort the sequence strips into groups. You should not have filled anything in. You shouldn't have written any numbers. But as a team, initially sort the sequence strips into groups based on your first glance at the sequences. Remember that we're going to sort these sequences several times, and you can sort them into more than 2 families. You'll have a chance to revise your groups throughout this activity, so just sort them in a way that makes sense to start with. Which seem to behave similarly. Record your groupings and what they have in common before proceeding. Ladies and gentlemen, please look at all your sequences right now. You have 30 seconds. 30 seconds to sort them. And you're not going to pause. You're just going to sort them, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds starting right now. Remember, you do not have any numbers written in. You are just sorting based on what you see. Quickly, put them into order, some type of order. You decide. There is, at this point, no right or wrong answer. There should be some type of logic based on what you see there. right, that is 30 seconds. So what I need you to do right now is I need you to go ahead and think about, okay, these are the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and I want you to tell me how you sorted it. Maybe you said, and I'm just randomly doing this, maybe you said A, C, and E, and D, B, or whatever. However it is that you sorted them, please write them down under your letter 1. Under this letter 1, this is problem 541, number 1 right here, and please write your sorting. Okay, so whatever letters you put together, and then give me a sentence explaining, oh, I put these together because they blank. I put these other together because they blank, okay? Just give me a brief description, nothing formal right now. All right, pause the video and do that, whatever you need to do, but please don't analyze too much into the sequences, and don't change the sortings. This is just your first sorting. We're gonna do this again. All right, if you need to pause, if you need more time, pause it, otherwise I'm continuing. Here is the second part we're gonna do. Now, if one exists, find the sequence generator, which is your growth pattern for each sequence, and write it on the strip. You can express the sequence generator in either in symbols or in words. Also record the next 3 terms in each sequence on the strips. Okay, so now you're gonna fill in those blanks. You're gonna find out what the pattern is. You're gonna analyze them a little bit deeper. You're gonna see what you're doing there. Find the sequence generator or growth pattern, okay? Do your sequence families still make sense? The sorting that you first did, does it make sense still? If so, what new information do you have about your sequence families? If not, reorganize the strips and explain how you decided to group them. So this really is it. This is it. This is all we're doing right now, okay? This is all we're doing for today. You are going to fill out the missing blanks on each one of those generators. You are going to resort them however you want to. You're going to find the sequence generator and write it on the strip so that you know. And then before you come to class tomorrow, you are going to sort them into some type of grouping. Now, a new grouping based on what you see there, okay? And again, give me some type of description so you can justify it tomorrow. Tomorrow when you come to class, I will ask several of you to share what your groupings were. So please be prepared for that, both at home and here in class, all right? So that's your task. Please bring those strips with you tomorrow. Please make sure you have your handout with you, the packet that I gave you. Have all that tomorrow because there are some other handouts we're going to use in class. I am going to ask you a favor. Well, I guess one other thing I'm going to ask you is if you look at your packets, they do have the other handouts for this packet. I'm going to include them in it. I'm tempted to not, but I'm going to go ahead and include them because they do need to be cut out. And so you will need to cut out, what is it, 10? You will need to cut out 10 tables and you'll need to cut out 10 graphs. Now, if you notice, the papers I included in the packet or the papers that you have different numbers of tables and or graphs per page. So you're going to have to print out as many pages as you need to have 10, okay? And I know that's kind of obnoxious, but you need to have a table and 10 tables and 10 graphs. Please do not do any of the actual tables and graphs right now. Just worry about having them cut out before you come to class. And then put them somewhere safe where you can bring them to class so we don't have to try to do all that cutting tomorrow, okay? So please come with those cut by tomorrow, and this will be a great test of whether you actually watch this video because some of you are not going to watch the video and you're going to come to class without them cut out, and then it's going to be really obnoxious. Or those of you at home are going to have them not cut out, and then it's going to be really obnoxious, and you're going to have to try to cut while we're doing this in class. So please, please, please cut out all the tables and graphs before class. Make sure you have 10 tables, 10 graphs. You're going to finish the sorting here, and then that's all we've got for today, okay? And I know that's a lot, but this is a whole class period, okay? So here is my comment for today. Just figured I'd share with you. This is how nerdy Jason is. This is kind of fun, okay? So you can read it. You can pause the video now and read it if you want to, or you can move on from there. That's fine. That's your call, okay? So by tomorrow, have your sorting. You have those sequence generators all filled out and figured out what the sequence generator is, what's happening there from one term to the next. And then you've cut out all your tables and cut out all your graphs before class. Got it? All right. Thank you very much. And I will see you tomorrow.